Hello and welcome to game number 1 between WhiteRa and IdrA. WhiteRa will be playing as the blue Protoss player at the 6 o'clock position. IdrA will be playing as the red Zerg player at the 9 o'clock position. This is GG Your Face and the map is going to be Metalopolis. Round number 1, game number 1, best of 3 in the ESL IEM World Championship taking place in Germany as WhiteRa is going to be scouting. It appears that IdrA has already found his opponent and WhiteRa is not going to send a probe over to where this overlord may or may not be, and he will not know, so therefore he will be scouting the 3 o'clock position with his probe, and he is chrono boosting lots of probes. And it appears that IdrA has saved quite a bit of money, minerals, and he will be putting down the hatchery at 15. Once again, we've seen this build many times, fast expand at 15 and getting the spawning pool as well as extractor immediately after. And I think at this moment WhiteRa still does not yet see where his opponent is, and that overlord is right here, will not catch a glimpse of it with his probe, and he is still going to be scouting the wrong way with the other probe as well. And of course the overlord does come in. It's as if he knew the timing of this probe will be able to discover that base does not exist, and he is going to come inside and he will give vision to WhiteRa of his overlord. Cybernetics core going down for WhiteRa at this moment. The spawning pool is about 25% complete, hatchery about 60 or so, and overlord flying into the base of WhiteRa. Probe coming inside the base of the natural expansion and into the base of IdrA now. And we will see a very hectic game between these two players because they are both capable of very explosive strategies such as that, the probe gas mineral steal. Not gas. I love the mineral steal. It's as if he is taunting them, rubbing in his face. Look, I've won the game. I've got your 5 minerals. Now I'm attacking your spawning pool, and soon I will have your hatchery, and not your babies. And the extractor is going to get 3 drones, and IdrA did take a peek at that, and it looks like he is going to just ignore it. Overlord still inside the base. We'll find the pylon toward the back, and some drones are being transferred at this moment. This probe is still unharmed, and the spawning pool is hurt. Drone coming across, one zealot is going to chase him, and the stalker is not being chrono boosted. Chrono boost is being spent on the nexus, and the simulator is going to go up as well. Another gateway is going to go up, and this is one pylon powering 3 structures. Very, very dangerous. Probably want to put a secondary pylon there somewhere at some point in this game. Drone being chased around by a zealot. Stalker does show up, but this drone has already found out a good amount of information about his opponent. If we take a look at the IdrA vision, he will see second gas as well as the second gateway, but he will not see the third gateway. Metabolic Boost has just begun research in the land of IdrA, and he is also going to be making more and more drones. And the Zerglings are scouting around. One set of Zerglings on the control tower, the watchtower, and WhiteRa is going to put down a pylon toward the beginning, and these Zerglings are being shot at by the Stalker. Stalker needs to be careful here because if those Zerglings were to group up, it could be trouble, and he might lose a very valuable structure and unit, And Stalker still moving about. Cyber Core is going to finish the Warp Gate tech very, very soon, and he is going to be switching to Lair at this moment for IdrA as the Stalker is coming in here. He is in a dangerous spot. Stalker might get surrounded by the Zergling. Zergling trying to get us around and was not able to. Metabolic Boost not yet finished. Still about 50 or so seconds away, and the Stalker is running for his life away from these Zerglings. That is really funny to see. And he will get some reinforcements in the form of 2 Zealots and 1 Sentry, and that will be able to fend off this attack, but IdrA has not yet lost any of those units that were attacking the Stalker, and more additional Zerglings are showing up. Metabolic Boost about to be finished. Once those Metabolic Boosts finish, he will be able to have a slight advantage over the slightly slower moving Protoss army, and both these players are going to be getting in a lot of units as we see 4 gate from WhiteRa. WhiteRa is right next to the edge, and I think he actually has vision of this. He has vision of the pylon. He will see the warp in. Sentries coming in, and he does actually see the additional reinforcements in the back. Sentries going forward, and Zerglings running the other way. Zerglings are coming back from the other side. 1 Zealot in the back. And we may see a push from WhiteRa here as WhiteRa is going to go in. And the Roach Warren was just finished, I believe, and 1 Zealot actually gets caught on the side there, and that is a good set of damage on that Zealot. And that Zealot will actually die, trading in for only 1 Zergling, which is about 1/4 the cost. This is not a good positioning for the set of units, and he does manage to kill off the Spine Crawler because he wants to be slightly away, and these roaches might be able to throw some Oh, those units are getting hurt on the side there. Another good force fields, and I'm not sure if this was the best use of force fields because he probably wants to save those force fields for this ramp area. And he actually got shot at. One Stalker was taken down on the side. He does not have that many units, and these roaches, there's 3 roaches at the near expansion, the natural expansion. He should be able to hold down this charge from his opponent, and from the units lost at, we can see they're about even, but you can tell WhiteRa is actually taking a lot more hits than he should because those Stalkers were just walking around. He didn't set the rally point around the edge, and he is losing more units here. Stalkers coming in. Ooh, missed that rally point once again. He needs to run those units away, and one Stalker goes down, and second Stalker is going to try to be saved by his teammates, but he is possibly gonna... Ooh, he does manage to save that one, and he is going to lose a Zealot instead, maybe. Army size at 47 against 60. At one point, WhiteRa did have about 6 or 8 more units than his opponent, but at this point he is slightly behind. Roach speed is being upgraded, and more queens coming up along with the first forge and perhaps an upgrade or some cannons, and these units are moving back and forth. And IdrA probably did not want to engage here because he wasn't sure if there were any units on the high ground. Some Zerglings left behind to scout around the base, and those will be taken down very, very quickly. Army size is at 54 against 65, advantage for IdrA as he was able to take that decisively. And looks like he is going to be getting 1 extractor and only 1 extractor. More and more roaches showing up for IdrA as it appears that WhiteRa will have to kill off the pylon and let himself out, and he will be able to put another pylon elsewhere. An expansion is going to go up for IdrA once again, and this is a nice army of units. He has 10 roaches and some Zerglings, whereas the Protoss player WhiteRa has lesser Stalkers and lesser sentries as well as Zealots, and some of these units are already long distance mining. He did mistime that slightly as more and more units are being spawned for IdrA at this moment, and 1 Overseer is being warped in, and these probes are successfully transferred to the next expansion. Income tab does show IdrA is in the healthy lead at this moment, and we will see the Overseer coming into the base, and we see a Stargate being built at the natural expansion. Will IdrA catch a glimpse of this? IdrA is coming in with the Overseer. He has not yet moved his troops. WhiteRa has not moved his troops to defend against this Overseer. Overseer will be able to see that Stargate. He does have vision of it now. He knows it's going to come. Void Rays or Phoenixes, unless he gets a cancel, and there is no cancel. Void Ray is being chrono boosted out of the Stargate, and it appears that there is going to be a Hydralisk then going down for IdrA as well, and another hatchery. There's going to be 1 hatchery, 2 hatchery, 3 hatchery, 4. And at this moment, army size is at 70 versus 88, still advantage for IdrA as he's macroing up quite well, and we see a robotics facility immediately after. So WhiteRa does know that his opponent knows he does have that Stargate, and he is going to be switching. He does have 1 cannon, 2 cannon, 1 cannon there, and pylon defending. IdrA is in a very healthy lead, I think, and he forgot to put some drones on that extractor, as that may or may not be fixed momentarily, as it still is on 2,500 gas at this moment, and some Stalkers thinking about expanding. A lot of upgrades coming up for these players, +1 for WhiteRa will be finished relatively soon, as IdrA's army does not yet have any upgrades. There will be 0-0 for both his units, and it appears that he is content to sit on his half of the map. Some of these overlords are being spread out, as the first Void Ray is going to come and do some sort of harassment. That is going to be 1 of 2 Void Rays that WhiteRa is going to be making, and IdrA does see it with his Zergling, and he will lose that Zergling, but he can easily replace that Zergling, and it appears that he's finally farming gas from that location. And this Void Ray is doing some sort of harassment, not very good harassment, because he hasn't really taken out any significant structures or units for IdrA, and he is going to still flow around. +1 missile as well as armor. Ooh, he almost sniped off that cream tumor there. And the first Hydralisk is coming out, and in the meantime, there may be an engagement here as some of the Zerglings were running out of their league, as this Void Ray does manage to run away, taking only 8 damage, and his shield will replenish, so that will be no problem. And we see a robotics bay being completed by WhiteRa at this moment. He is going to switch over to Colossus, and I don't think IdrA has seen this just yet. He does not have vision of it, and he is going to be scouting inside the base. There was an Overlord coming inside trying to get a glimpse of that robotics bay, but I believe he has not yet seen it. And if we take a look at his vision, he does not see the robotics facility nor the robotics base, so he does not know that Colossus are coming. Colossus are absolutely great against Hydralisk. Hydralisk coming in with Zerglings, and the army size is going to be at 111 versus 156. Absolutely massive army for IdrA at this moment. He has a very nice mix of units as well. About 19 roaches and 17 Hydralisks, and there will be the third base for his opponent, WhiteRa, as WhiteRa is going to have not that many units, because he does not have that much income. 176 now, and only +3 for WhiteRa at 114. And this is going to research the air attacks. Very, very confusing at this moment. One armor is finished, and he is going to push in here. One armor for both the Zergling as well as the Roaches and Hydralisk, and he is pushing forward, and there is some creep being spread over there. And he does see a glimpse of the Colossus now. The second Colossus is on the way, is being chrono boosted, and he is going to make more Void Rays. He needs to make a stand here. There is also one Immortal and the miss, and not very good force field. He needs to fall back after those force field. He does put up 3 of those Guardian Shields, but there's absolutely too many units for IdrA. IdrA is running over the army of his opponent, WhiteRa. WhiteRa's Colossus does show up slightly late to the party, and he is going to get focus fire down, and GG. Very, very intense game there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Game number 2 will be coming in very shortly. If you like what you see, please do subscribe for more hatcheries and spires. Thanks. See you guys at the next game.